Hello and welcome to the read-through of the first section of my book. The section is called just 0 to 14. The working title of this book is Maggie May Removes Her Rose-Colored Glasses. And I just got my little script here. First section of the book. I'm going to read it to you and let me know what you think. Thank you. People rarely say what they actually mean. This is something I've been acutely aware of since I was a very young child, perhaps since I was born. I am an empathic person. I can feel and experience other people's feelings, whether I want to or not. I've spent most of my life avoiding the beauty and frustration of trying to understand the gift that I had been given. I was open to understanding myself until experiencing a trauma when I was 14 years old. After that, I shut down, and I didn't really wake up again until about 7 years ago. That's when I was 43 years old. At that time, I fell deeply in love with a man, and once that happened, I couldn't keep my heart closed anymore. Once my heart was fully open, I started feeling all of the pain that I had been suppressing for so many years. I have spent the last 7 years trying to figure myself out. This is the story of a codependent empath. Prelude, January 12, 2020. When I was 14 years old, I was raped. I was at the beach with friends. Then my friends stranded me, and I did the old take the ride home from a stranger bit. The stranger was a friend of the friends that my friends stranded me with. An 18 or 19-year-old man-boy was the perpetrator. When he invited me to join him in his back seat, I thought he was going to give me my first kiss. What he gave me instead was a trauma that would cause a drastic change in me that would be ongoing and not recognized or understood by me until now. That day changed me so profoundly that it has taken a complete life breakdown for me to feel secure enough in myself to even really try to look back so I can fully realize what happened to me. After the physical trauma healed, I never healed. Instead, unknowingly, it solidified in my being a codependent personality, one that I was already developing through family dynamics. A personality I never understood, but I have always felt at ease with. I've been at war with myself and I did not even know it. So here I am after all these years, waving the white flag, not in defeat, but in surrender. I am surrendering to a higher power that is fighting within me to shine through. The shine says, fight for yourself. So I am going to fight. I'm 50 years old now as I write these words. I'm really trying hard to figure myself out. Maybe I'm having a midlife crisis. It feels like everything that could fall apart in my life has fallen apart. Excuse me. My current life assessment. I've spent the last 32 years working very hard to raise my 3 gorgeous, healthy children. My oldest daughter has given me a beautiful, funny, and sweet granddaughter that I am hopelessly in love with. I bought my house 21 years ago, but I still have a bigger mortgage than I started with. I've spent all of the last 33 years working in some form of social work or another. I'm very burnt out. I took a shot of love with a seemingly lovely man about 6.5 years ago. This was after I'd been alone and celibate for almost 10 years while I raised my kids. 10 years of no love or affection from a man. So, I took a shot at having a romantic relationship, and my heart ended up completely broken. I was treated badly. Not physical abuse, psychological abuse. Just plain old lying, misdirection, and manipulation. I was led to believe that he felt the strong, loving feelings for me that I had for him, but he used me as a matter of his convenience, only until he dumped me as if I were nothing, by literally doing a happy dance on the internet to a song about being set free. He lied to me the entire time we were together. I was actually the other woman, and I didn't even know it. A side piece. It was like a game to him, but it was very real to me. It was unspeakably cruel. I'm still very hurt. So it's back to being alone. I'm also completely broke. I had to leave my second job. I worked for 10 years as a homemaker for the elderly. I had to quit a few years ago, mainly because of the ongoing problem I have with getting way too overly involved with every single person I talk to for more than an hour. Very soon after I quit that job, I realized I needed more cash, so I drove pizza delivery as a side hustle. I was making a lot of money, and then I lost 30 more pounds. I had to quit that job, though, abruptly, because my dad suddenly and shockingly died. I needed to spend more time with my mom. She really had a hard time adjusting. My primary job is a bookkeeper for a cafe. I worked there for 10 years, but we were struggling to stay open, and finally we had to close 2 months ago. So no more job for me. After all these events, you'd think enough is enough, right? Smooth sailing ahead. No, you wouldn't believe this. Guess what happened? Wait for it. My vagina fell out. I'm not even kidding. That's what I thought anyway. It felt like that's what was happening. It was actually something called a vaginal prolapse. It wasn't actually my vagina that was falling out of my body, but it was my internal organs slipping through tears that I didn't know I had in my pelvic floor. My organs pushed through those tears right on out of my vagina. This caused me to feel like I had a penis. Have you ever heard of such a thing? I hadn't. It scared the hell out of me. I was traumatized and had a severe crisis of self-identity and self-worth for a moment. The surgery was no joker either. Over 8 weeks to heal. So, recap of my current and unfolding life situation. No money at all. Actually, I went bankrupt again about 3 years ago, primarily because of the combo of the disaster relationship I was talking about earlier and spending money like I'm not broke, which I am. Really broke. No job. Can't get one for at least another 1.5 to 2 months because of the surgery. Living on unemployment and family charity. I don't even have one friend. I pretty much put my nose to the grindstone in 1987 and I haven't looked up since. Being that it's now 2020, I have no idea where to even start in achieving the goal of getting a life, or even achieving stability for that matter. It feels like everyone else has their shit together and they can see clearly where they're going, but I can't see the path before me. I feel like I'm sitting in a void. Oh, brother, I sound so depressed. I guess I could head that way, but that sounds like a colossal waste of time. I want to instead ponder possibilities. Possibilities for my present and my future through looking at my past for the answers. Which direction do I take to start achieving total happiness from within? Not just total happiness, but ultimate personal fulfillment and contentment with just being myself. Don't get me wrong. I know that raising children is an enormous achievement. I understand that I have not wasted my life. My children are everything to me. They always have been. I've spent the last 36 years completely devoted to trying to raise my kids in a way that made them feel that they were loved and supported. I will continue that practice until I'm dead, because I willingly sacrifice my comfort with the objective of attaining stability for the sense of family and safety. I read that wrong entirely. I'm so sorry. I willingly sacrifice my comfort with the objective of attaining stability and a sense of safety for my family. I am a solid touchstone for them. I always will be, and that brings me joy. However, it might also be the reason it's taken me so long to look within. Being a parent is really difficult and time-consuming job. It takes a lot of discipline and focus. All of my energy went into our survival, so I did not allow myself to have my own life's dreams. My needs did not take center, left, right, or even backstage. Life wishes, dream fulfillment, that's not even been a blip on my own personal radar. It's so strange. I have lived for a half a century, and I still don't have any idea how to love myself. Hell, I'm not even sure I really even know myself. I surely have not fully accepted or appreciated myself. Self-love and self-acceptance has been a completely untapped well of need within me. A need that I did not even recognize that I had until after all of the things that I had just described happened and I had no choice but to accept what is and to look within myself for that healing. I thought, what if I woke up every day excited for whatever adventure I was going to go on? What if I had a certain kind of job because I chose to, because I love doing it and it fills me with positivity instead of draining me? What if I worked my ass off every single day, but I was smiling because I was happy to do the task and not just doing it because I needed to pay the bills and support my peeps? How would it feel to take a chance on love and be loved in return? How do I get that? What if I can manifest my own happiness by changing myself, changing my life from the inside out? I've come to the conclusion that I need to take a long look at the steps and stages of my life. How did I start way over there? And then, more importantly, how did I get way over here? How can I bridge the gap? So far, I've spent the majority of my life here on earth as a slave to the whims and the needs of other people. I've also carried a lot of their baggage along with my own. The kicker is, it has been without a doubt my choice to do that. Why would I do that? Why would I, consciously or unconsciously, keep myself a slave and a prisoner? How did that happen? When did that happen? I'm a codependent person, and I've struggled with this debilitating mindset for a large portion of my life. I think the codependency is an internal thought process that's instilled in a person at a young age. That thought process leads to a messed up way of viewing yourself and also a messed up way of relating to other people. I know that's still too confusing, but I think the best way to explain is to explain to you the ways I've always thought inside of my head. I've depended on other people throughout my life to give me my identity. Show me who you need me to be, and I'll morph into that to suit your comfort level, no matter how uncomfortable that fit of that suit was for me. It reminds me of the line in the Santana song that says, I would change my life to better suit your mood. Other people's needs and struggles have always been more important than mine, and they were always addressed first. My happiness has always been tied to if other people were happy too. If they were not happy too, or if they were not happy for me if I was being successful, then I couldn't be happy either. Needing to earn love and approval from others through the effort, the dedication, and the loyalty I gave, without the expectation of reciprocity, only because in order to accept or expect reciprocity, one would have to value their own needs. I was not capable of doing that for a very long time. Feeling as if I'm arrogant if I get any attention and enjoy it. Always feeling the need to check my non-existent ego. Since I was 14 years old, I have not actually spent any time focused on my life's purpose up until recently, that is. To be clear, I'm referring to the life purpose that I have decided upon for my own pleasure, enrichment, and soul-deep satisfaction, instead of the life purpose that I've chose to act upon as a result of my needing to heal. I have been distracting myself by choosing to give attention to the never-ending stream of need coming from other people. I'm beginning to encompass a new way of being. This states to myself and the world that I am free of being scared to open myself up to other people because I don't trust myself not to get overly involved, or to take on another person's problems as my own, or to try and fix anything and everything for anyone other than my own self. I am done absorbing all of the bad stuff for everyone else and never letting myself receive the good stuff. I'm through not loving and valuing myself enough to even ask the hard questions about the way I have lived my life. My thought process has been flawed. I know it has. I need to know the real reason why. I think I'm finally ready to know the answers and to do something positive with whatever those answers are. Perhaps the reason that I originally became codependent was a combination of how other people have behaved around me and toward me at different stages in my life, especially the stages where I was vulnerable and unable to react or process information in a grown-up way because I wasn't grown up yet. When you're reliant upon other people to give you a sense of your place in this world, aka being a child, you assume that any treatment towards you is warranted and natural. Kids figure out a way to cope. The way I coped was to become codependent on the people that were teaching me to be that way. It started within the family dynamics, but then it grew out of control or reason after the trauma in my life. Ultimately, it spread to my friendships, romantic relationships, and the workplace, and it decorated every part of my life. Eventually, codependency defined me. Usually, when a person gets involved in a codependent relationship, it starts because the person is very caring and they just want to help. I am an empathic person, and that's added a layer of wanting to or needing to help that was overwhelming for me as a child and still can be as an adult. Another issue I've struggled with is that it's gone hand in hand with being codependent, is the codependent narcissist dynamic, where one person dominates the other and they let them. Let me read that again. Where one person dominates and the other lets them dominate and actually helps them and encourages them to dominate, even as it diminishes them. Another way to put it is, if a person is trying to stifle who you are in order to pump themselves up, they're being a bit narcissistic. If you voluntarily stifle yourself to make someone else feel better, or if you're quick to offer to stifle yourself if someone asks you to in order to make someone else feel better, you're being a bit codependent. It's oversimplifying, of course. I can say without hesitation that I'm embarrassed about some of my choices and actions. There's shame I carry about the things I've done to myself and to others, and shame about the things that other people have done to me. Shame is an all too familiar and damaging emotion. I think that the process of remembering what my thoughts, motivations, and feelings were during the experience of the embarrassing and shameful type memories is what I need to root out most. Goodbye shame, hello contentment. I will not be finger pointing or giving bad vibes towards anyone while I look back on my life. I'll try to do it with love and forgiveness and hopefully fairness. I simply want to understand